She's not actually gonna shoot it, right? They laughed as they handed her the sniper rifle unloaded. Or so they thought. She didn't say a word, just held it, balanced it, checked the wind, then tapped once on the scope. The spotter beside her squinted, recalculated the distance, and went dead quiet. He took off his headset, then turned slowly toward the others and said, "Who the hell gave her that rifle? If you believe skill doesn't care about gender type, watch this shot." The military training range stretched across the desert valley, reserved exclusively for elite reconnaissance teams and their advanced marksmanship qualification trials. That particular scorching afternoon, it was absolutely full of testosterone-fueled competition, booming voices echoing off canyon walls, and serious bet money flying back and forth over who could consistently outshoot whom in the most challenging conditions. She wasn't listed on the official training roster, wasn't technically part of any active team, and according to strict facility regulations, wasn't even officially allowed anywhere near the firing line during live ammunition exercises. She'd been specifically assigned to mundane logistics coordination tagged with the generic designation, observer status only. No military insignia decorated her plain uniform. No sidearm hung from her belt. Just a standard administrative clipboard and a simple ponytail that made the experienced marksman automatically assume she wasn't actually military personnel at all. One of the veteran spotters, grinning with condescending amusement, jokingly handed her an intimidating M107.50 caliber sniper rifle with theatrical flourish. "Here, want a memorable souvenir photo for your scrapbook," another marksman added with obvious mockery. "Careful there, sweetheart. That particular weapon system kicks considerably harder than your makeup bag probably weighs." She didn't blink at their condescension, just accepted the weapon, balanced it instantly in her hands like it weighed absolutely nothing more than a feather. They laughed at her apparent inexperience. She remained completely silent. She slowly laid the rifle flat on the shooting mat, methodically adjusted the precision scope, without even looking through the optical system. "You ever actually fired one of those expensive toys?" A decorated sergeant smirked with obvious superiority. "Or is this honestly your very first encounter with real military hardware?" She finally spoke with quiet confidence. "I've seen enough." They mistakenly thought she meant she was already bored with their demonstration. But she was actually reading complex wind patterns bouncing off the distant canyon wall surfaces. She adjusted the stabilizing bipod herself perfectly level, positioning significantly faster than anyone present had expected from a supposed civilian observer. "She's just posing for attention, do you?" Someone muttered dismissively. She deliberately set the rifle down, walked exactly 10 feet to her left with measured steps, found a tactically superior angle, and recentered her position without offering any explanation. That's precisely when the experienced spotter frowned with growing confusion. Wait a minute. Why did she move to that specific position? That's the true wind line compensation point. The casual laughter around the firing line faded just a little. Someone else noticed her subtle adjustments. "She's reading terrain features. Look at her eye movement." A younger sniper whispered. "She's not guessing. She's calculating." The atmosphere shifted imperceptibly. Jokes became less frequent, observations more careful. She remained in position, completely motionless, studying variables that most marksmen would need sophisticated equipment to properly assess. The desert wind picked up slightly, creating complex air currents between the rocky outcroppings. She tilted her head almost imperceptibly, listening to something no one else could hear. "She's timing the wind cycles," the spotter said quietly. "That's not standard procedure." The betting money stopped changing hands. Everyone was watching her now. She hadn't even touched the trigger yet, but something fundamental had changed in the dynamic. The rifle seemed different in her hands, not like equipment she was borrowing, but like an extension of herself. She was looking for a few more. 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 Where the trigger mechanism is located. She dropped smoothly into perfect prone position and adjusted for a precise elevation compensation without being told the target specifications, and waited with the patience of a hunting predator. The designated target was positioned exactly 1,580 yards out across the hostile desert terrain. She didn't ask for a distance call from the spotter, didn't request input about environmental conditions, didn't ask for official permission to engage. She controlled her breathing with mechanical precision, watching the target through the scope. The wind patterns shifted across the valley, creating complex air currents that would challenge even experienced snipers. She tracked the movement of dust particles in the distance, calculating trajectory compensation that wasn't taught in any manual. The spotter checked his equipment, expecting to provide guidance. She ignored his presence completely. "Ma'am, do you want wind speed data?" he offered professionally. She didn't respond. She was listening to something else entirely. The sound of wind moving through rock formations created subtle acoustic signatures that revealed air pressure changes. She exhaled slowly, her finger finding the trigger with natural familiarity. The wind dropped for just 2 precious seconds, a brief window that most shooters would miss entirely. The wind was fired. The massive rifle roared its sound, echoing off canyon walls like thunder. The recoil should have bruised her shoulder, but she absorbed it perfectly. A long second passed in absolute silence. Then the distant target, a heavily armored steel plate designed to withstand multiple impacts, pinged with the unmistakable sound of dead center contact. The shot was absolutely perfect. The spotter stared at his digital data tablet, checked the readings, then rechecked them with growing disbelief. Dead on center impact? No wind drift compensation needed. Wait, how did she call that environmental calculation completely alone? He slowly took off his professional headset with trembling hands, then stood up from his position. That shot wasn't luck, or beginner's fortune. That was timed off-terrain echo reflection. She used natural sound reverberation to track wind drop patterns. The entire firing range went completely silent. She stood up, gracefully handed the expensive rifle back with gentle care. "Thank you," she said simply. One of the younger men blurted out with obvious confusion. "Who the hell trained you to shoot like that?" She didn't answer his question, but an older sniper, positioned near the back, said softly with obvious respect, "You don't train that kind of precision. That's not textbook methodology. That's pure instinct." Another marksman added quietly, "I've seen that technique once before. Special operations contractor. Black budget program. The betting money lay forgotten on tables. No one cared about their previous competitions anymore." She walked toward the equipment storage area without ceremony, her movements efficient and purposeful. The spotter was still staring at his data readings. Environmental calculations. She did them faster than our computer systems. A sergeant approached the target area with binoculars. Clean entry hole, perfect center mass, no secondary impacts. Someone whispered, "That wasn't a qualification shot. That was an execution." The rifle lay where she'd placed it, still warm from the single shot. No one else picked it up. They just stared at the target in the distance, trying to comprehend what they'd witnessed. Someone finally managed to pull up her personnel file from the secure military database. It wasn't easy. More than half of the document was heavily blacked out with classified redactions. What remained visible told an extraordinary story. Former Tier 1 contractor, operational call sign, ghost links officially credited with 27 confirmed eliminations recorded at distances exceeding 1,200 yards under hostile conditions. She'd been completely off-grid for 4 years, technically listed as inactive support staff with no combat designation. But she was never actually support personnel. The generic logistics badge she wore, it was the same identification used to provide cover during embedded special operations. One younger sniper sat down hard on an equipment crate. We joked about her holding the rifle. One of the other two. She built that shot completely blind. Someone else added with growing respect. That was instinctive trajectory compensation. I've only seen that level of skill from one instructor. And he trained alone in the Andes Mountains. The range commander on site made one immediate call. Reopen her active clearance status. But no one had to inform her of the decision. She was already walking purposefully toward the equipment locker room, where she'd apparently left her personal case. Inside the worn leather case, not just standard gear, but a personal spotter's logbook that had been passed down from someone known only by the legendary name Wyatt. She was his final student. When she returned to the firing line, carrying her own equipment, no one spoke. She walked directly to the same shooting mat where she'd made the impossible shot. No jokes this time. No condescending offers. No disrespect. They all just watched in reverent silence. She unpacked her personal rifle, a custom weapon system that had clearly seen extensive field use. The scope was hand-calibrated, the stock worn smooth from countless hours of practice. She set up her position with the efficiency of someone who had done this thousands of times. A senior instructor approached cautiously. "Ma'am, we apologize for the earlier." She held up one hand, stopping him mid-sentence. "No apology necessary. You didn't know." Her voice carried no anger, no resentment, just professional acknowledgement. She settled into positions, studying the range with experienced eyes. "The wind patterns here are unusual," she said quietly. "The canyon creates false readings." The spotter nodded eagerly. "Yes, ma'am. Most shooters struggle with." "I'm not most shooters." She fired 3 shots in rapid succession, each one striking a different target at varying distances. All 3 hits were perfect. The chronograph recorded her time 18 seconds, from first shot to last. "That's impossible," someone whispered. "No," the senior instructor corrected. "That's Ghost Lynx." Her reputation preceded her in special operations communities, but no one had connected the legendary call sign to the quiet woman with a clipboard. She packed her equipment as efficiently as she deployed it. "I'll be available if you need consultation on advanced marksmanship training," she said. Then she walked away, leaving behind a firing range full of humbled professionals. The targets remained in place, each bearing witness to precision that redefined their understanding of possible. That evening, the story spread throughout the Shukin. By morning, her legend had grown even larger. But she remained exactly the same quiet professional and absolutely lethal. 2 days later, the official range roster was permanently updated throughout the entire facility. Her name was no longer listed under administrative support staff. It was prominently listed under independent marksmen. Override access granted. A new sniper joined the training rotation the following week. During his standard initiation briefing, he asked with typical newcomer confidence, "So who's considered the top shooter around here?" No one answered his question immediately. They just pointed silently toward the far shooting mat. She was already lying in perfect prone position, head set off, eyes forward, calm as ever. And the surveillance drone hovering overhead, it automatically zoomed in on her finger before she even fired, because the system had learned who to follow. Word of her demonstration spread through military networks like wildfire. Officers from other bases requested permission to observe her training sessions. She declined most requests politely. "I'm not a circus act," she explained to the range commander. But she did agree to conduct advanced marksmanship seminars for select personnel. The first session had a waiting list of over 200 applicants. She selected 12 students based on their psychological profiles, not their current skill levels. "Precision shooting is 90% mental," she told them. "The mechanics can be learned. The mindset cannot be taught." Her teaching methods were unconventional. She spent hours on breathing techniques, meditation, and environmental awareness before allowing students to touch a rifle. "Listen to the terrain," she instructed. "The earth will tell you everything about wind patterns." Students learned to read atmospheric pressure through subtle changes in sound. They practiced calculating distance using visual cues that most marksmen never noticed. Her reputation attracted attention from unexpected sources. A Pentagon official visited the base specifically to meet her. "We have positions available," he said. "Contracts that would." "I'm exactly where I need to be," she interrupted. She preferred the training range to operational deployments. Teaching the next generation felt more important than adding to her confirmed kill count. But her skills remained razor-sharp. Monthly qualification shoots became informal competitions between visiting specialists. None of them came close to her scores. She would fire once, hit the target perfectly, then step aside. "Your turn," she would say with quiet confidence. The psychological effect on competitors was devastating. Some of the most experienced snipers in the military found themselves questioning techniques they'd used for years. Her presence changed the entire culture of the range. Bragging and betting were replaced by focused training and mutual respect. Students stopped trying to impress each other and started trying to improve themselves. She rarely spoke during training sessions, preferring to demonstrate through action. When she did offer advice, everyone listened with complete attention. "Patience defeats speed every time," she would say. "The target doesn't know you're there. Keep it that way." Perfect shots come from perfect preparation. Her logbook became legendary among marksmen. Each entry detailed environmental conditions, equipment settings, and post-shot analysis. Years of accumulated knowledge that represented the evolution of precision shooting. She never let anyone read it, but promised to pass it on when she found the right student. "Someday," she said, "someone will surpass what I've achieved. When that happens, they'll need this." Until then, she remained the undisputed master of her craft. Silent, precise, and absolutely unmatched. The range belonged to her now. Everyone else was just borrowing time on her territory. If precision earns more than rank, ever could subscribe to the Ordinary Heroes.